Whoa is right, boys and girls. Coach Prime done dropped a bombshell when it comes to recruiting. I'm not going to say you heard it here first on the show, but you might have heard it here first on the show if you've been subbed and following for quite some time. The show is brought to you by BetUS. We're going to talk about that. Then Coach Prime kind of puts one of the question of the journalist in a little bit of a backseat a little bit of like, hey, we knew we had what we got. You just didn't know what we had coming. You know what I'm saying? Let's roll the intro and let's talk about it. Shout out to Woody there for bringing us the intro and getting us all fired up here today. So Coach Prime had his presser. I always enjoy watching him, see if we get some little tidbits. He talks about recruiting, which we're going to get into. Also, some more news around Julian Lewis and possibly big-time flips happening. We've been talking about it. We'll show that clip in just a few moments. However, I want to play this clip first. This clip had me fired up because we've been talking about this, and I love the way that Coach Prime bounced back. He says, the guy goes, look, we always knew what Shador and Travis Hunter and what these positions could do, but now it's not about them. It's about the defensive line getting to the quarterback, about the O-line blocking better. It's about these things that people are talking about. Are you, excited or, happy that this is happening? And here's what he had to say. Love it. Just love it.
You now, we would have believed you then. So which one of you do we believe? So why would we listen? We don't have time for that, honestly, because we know who we are, what we are, how we are, where we're going, and we know how to get there. So we don't listen to the outside noise, and that's something that we prepare our young men for on a daily basis, not just with football, but with life. Stop allowing people to tell you who you are. Your actions, your consistency, your lifestyle should really tell them who you are.
I love this because, look, it's just because you guys said that the O-line would be bad or because the D-line would be bad or that the linebacker play would be bad doesn't mean we believe that it would be bad. We knew what we had going into this season. I tried telling you, and he said it. We've got this, and this coming. We made these changes. I feel good about where we're at. You chose not to believe. You chose to go off what was last year thinking it was going to transition. And they even asked later on the pressers, like, what do you think is different from last year? So what do you mean? We flipped the whole roster. We told you we were doing it. We showed you we do it. We flipped half the coaching staff. What you think we just snapped our fingers and got lucky? There been no secret about how he's been navigating this thing. Everybody painted this picture like, oh, well, it's Coach Prime. He can't coach. He can't do anything based on the production of last year. He admitted to where they went wrong, said, hey, here's what we've got to adjust. We're going to make some improvement. But he's proven to you he can win. You just forgot about it because you wanted to. Let's just call it what it is. Don't sit here and play dumb now. You didn't want to give him credit. Here we are, baby. Rise and shine. Wake up. We got a big game this week. Obviously, Utah. This show is brought to you by BetUS. We talked about this earlier yesterday, actually. The Buffs are favored by -10. How you feeling? I love it a lot. Kyle Whittingham is a professional. Coach Prime even talked about his presser. One of my favorite coaches, honestly, in college football. The guy just knows how to win. And I think he's created an incredible culture at Utah. He's been there for like 1994. It feels like he's been there forever and continues to put on a good product on the football field for most of the years, dealing with some injuries this year and things like that. But much respect for Mr. Whittingham. Again, check out betus.com. Use the code YouTube150 to get back 150% on your first deposit, then 125 on your next two, up to $2,000. This next clip, though, this one get me fired up. I'm like, check the clock. Your boy's been saying it. We've been talking about this when it comes to recruiting, about how they're going to navigate this recruiting cycle. Is that, look, I know we look at the number and where this class is going to finish because the haters are going to take an advantage and go, they finished 83. I promise you, Coach Prime don't give a damn about that number. What he is concerned about is the quality that is coming in through that recruiting class and the guys they are going after. I have said time and time again, watch who they have on campus. Watch what they're going after. They're having a business conversation. I am not recruiting for you to come here and be good in 3 years. No. I think you can make it play right away and make an impact. That's why I'm recruiting you. You will play day one if you commit to Colorado. I'm assuming that's part of how the conversation is going, if I had to guess. Take a listen to what he had to say. Had me fired up when I heard him.
I want to let you in on so many things, but let me just give you this example. Just say we get 25 high school players. How many is going to play that freshman year at the most? Let's say 4 or 5, right? And so now you got 20 guys redshirted. So when you go through that spring with that 20 guys redshirted, how many are you going to retain after that spring? Or how many are going to jump in the portal on you? Let's just do it. If any one of you going to go statistically and try to calculate this, I already done it. So it's going to be how many? Half. Okay, why don't I just focus on 10? Guys that can, see, when we grab a freshman, we expect that guy to play. We're not looking at, hey, man, we can just redshirt you, develop you. No. We're looking for you to come in and play some football. I don't give a darn if it's a walk-on, if it's a Cash Cleveland. We expect you to play. So our approach is somewhat different, heavily scrutinized, heavily criticized, but we know what we're doing. So if anybody ever did the homework and the statistics of these young men that people have a class that they say is the #1 class in the nation, then 5 of those guys play or 4 of those guys play, then the rest go through the spring, then they jump in the portal. Give me those numbers. Don't give me the numbers of where you rank nationally recruited, because it's like an NFL team. You always say who won the draft. Then the team gets killed all year. You don't say nothing else about it. Who won the draft last year in the NFL? Nobody care right now, right? Exactly.
Hey, I'm not going to say you heard it here first. I'm not going to be saying that. I am going to tell, because I did say it. This is what I've been saying this entire time. Here's how I want to look at this. I'll play devil's advocate a little bit, because you can argue, well, we're not sure if this is proven yet, right? We know the history of college football. You have to have a good recruiting class. You got to build through that. And I agree to that. I also feel like, look, there's the way the college football is changing. And this is no different than when a new coach brings in a new offensive style to the football field. At first, people criticize it because it's different. It's unorthodox. They don't like it. But when it starts to work, everyone else adapts to it. Okay? So, as of now, no one else is doing this. And I think you can have mad success by specifically targeting offensive or recruits that will play right away. And here's what's great about it. Here's what makes this process work so phenomenally right now for Colorado. Go look at the guys that were committed last year, like a Jordan Seaton, a Cash Cleveland. There's probably a few others I can't think off the top of my dome. Gustave, the running back, right? The success they're having right off rip. Not everyone are hits, but those are just to name a few. We know how this is going to look for the transfer for people in the portal. I mean, that is speaking volumes. Men have cashed in on the fact of they transferred from whatever school they were at to Colorado. They are going to make millions of dollars now because of that transition. So you've already sold the portal heavily. And you're selling the recruiting and that methodology heavily. Now, could this process thin up if others start to, adapt to that? Sure, but that's down the road. That's not a problem they have to worry about right now. You're going to still continue to have your guys that recruit 25 to 30 and then get just a small portion into the portal, which plays into favor for Colorado. So here's what I love about this. We talked about this on the show, which the NIL obviously has changed a little bit, but Colorado recruiting has never been a thing. So you've got to change this culture and this mindset and make Colorado cool to where it's like, no, this is the place to go for young recruits. I think it has been a splash, but there is just a longevity of these big-time schools that have always had success in recruiting. That's hard to overcome. So what do? Play with what cards you're being given. And that's exactly what Coach Prime is doing right now. And eventually, when things start to compound on top of each other, maybe you take 15 next year, maybe you take 20 the following year for recruiting, and you're still able to have impact on the cycle, in the transfer portal. Just interesting. You're watching it unfold here, live time. Could be something we talk about for ages of like, he attacked this moment when nobody else was looking. I keep going back to this because we just got through the election, right? When Obama won back in 2008, he did something that no one else was doing. He took to Facebook. He took to social media at a time that no other presidential candidates were doing. So his outreach was much, much bigger than anybody could ever imagine. Even the old people couldn't keep up, right? So when you have something like that happen, you're able to excel. And I think this is kind of similar to that, where it's so different, so unorthodox. People want to kind of point and laugh until it works. And then they're going to start adapting it. Here's the other big thing that I want to talk about. We talk about Julian Lewis being crystal ball by 247. Everybody's on board now. Everybody's on board. Hayes Fawcett tweeted out, flip season is inbound. Some big flips happening this week. Could we see a buff flip this, or someone flip to the Buffs this week? I don't know. You tell me. I ain't been wrong yet. Been dialed in. I'm humming. Also, you guys have shown a ton of love over the last 48 hours. We were literally just at like 10.5 in subs. We're almost at 12,000 subs in a matter of 2 to 3 days. Incredible. I can't believe it. I'm overwhelmed with the love and support. I appreciate it. Haters are few and far between. It's nice. We're rocking and rolling. Smash the like button. Subscribe. The show is brought to you by BetUS. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace and love, baby.